Hey, hey, YouTube, it's another perfect day in God's country, and I ain't lying. We got some wind blowing in out here today. You can definitely feel the winter is trying to show up here, and I don't know if y'all can tell it's windy or maybe you can hear it, but fall has been absolutely phenomenal this year. Just a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful fall colors, beautiful fall weather. I love the fall, but with winter does come some good news. Very soon, my winter plates will be back, and I can drive any of my trucks anytime I want and cruise around. That's always a good thing. So there's that. Anyway, it is another perfect day in God's country. If I didn't already let you know that 3 or 4 times, I reckon it's okay, because it is another perfect day. Today, we're out here working on the free yacht I told you all about. You know, by the way, the name of this boat is called the Four Queens, which is interesting since they do call me lucky. Kind of strange. That I got a boat called the Four Queens. I don't know. Do you suppose this was owned by 4 really weird guys? I don't know. Difficult to say. Maybe he won it. Maybe he went to the casino, won a bunch of money with 4 queens playing poker, and said, "Oh man, I just cleaned up. I'm gonna buy a boat," and named it the Four Queens. I just don't know. But here we are, back in the Silverton, the 1977 Silverton. And this morning I started doing a little bit of cleaning up inside here. And I thought, well, I keep saying I need to record this stuff and bring everybody along on the journey. And, it's kind of nice to be able to share these kind of projects with my friends. So I really don't mind doing it. Just something I have to get used to doing, bringing the laptop along with me, and yada yada. But I made a video about this boat, so it's one of there's going to be several little series popping up. The projects I got going on right now. I'm going to try to keep you guys all with me on the journey as I bring this boat around, clean her up. And we also got the new $100 OBS, which, by the way, for any of y'all that don't know what OBS means, it essentially, it's supposed to mean original body style. But recently it's been, shifted over to meaning older body style. So, which is fine, because none of us are looking for an original body style Ford truck to drive around and plow snow with or have as a daily. Not that they weren't cool. There's probably a few fellas looking for an original body style Ford truck, but as you guys know, mine is certainly not that 94 Ford truck. Just OBS just means older body style or old body style. And typically in the automotive world, OBS, when you're talking about trucks, OBS usually just means square bodies and back. That's it, right? Square bodies and back are older body style, square bodies, right? Everybody's favorite pickup trucks, whether you're a Ford guy or a Chevy guy, we all love the square body trucks, especially now that new trucks, good ones, or 250s with all the bells and whistles that we need to get the job done, are $115,000 gosh darn dollars. Who's going to pay $115,000 for a pickup truck? Not lucky. I'll buy one for $100, and I'll tell you what, if I dump $1,000 into that Ford, which I ain't gonna, if I've dumped $1,000 into that Ford truck, it's going to be every bit, if not far more capable of any of the new ones, and probably last longer and be more reliable. And if I break down, I can jump out of the truck and grab my shit out of the back, and I've got a sporting chance of fixing whatever happened and getting back on the road. And when y'all break down in your $115,000 GMC 3500 with a television for a dashboard, you ain't going to be able to do shit. You're walking home, calling a cab, getting her towed, whatever. You get it? I don't want one. No interest. About 2006, that's about my cutoff line. 2007, maybe. That's my cutoff line. Never killed a Ford truck motor, man. Never killed a Ford truck motor. Only really killed one of my Fords, and that was my Expedition. I had a 2006 Ford Expedition. Loved the truck. 5.4 liter V8. Ended up selling that motor for $500. It was such a good motor. Guy bought the whole truck as a parts truck and the motor after I killed it. And how did I kill it? I killed it by, the reason this is on my mind is this is going on with my 94 right now, the new truck I got for $100. So we'll get to that in another episode. But the transmission lines on the Ford, it goes from the transmission to the transmission cooler. If you live in the Rust Belt, you have got to keep an eye on those. And in my Expedition, literally, I killed it myself because I was cruising down the road and a hole blew in one of them old rusty lines, and I smoked my transmission within a minute. Just pumps the fluid right out of your truck, and you will smoke the transmission. You don't even want to run your truck when you got a hole in the transmission line. So anyway, that's how I killed my Expedition. I fried the transmission instantly. But I never put it in reverse while that was going on, so I could move it all over the place because it still had good reverse after I had my buddy drag it home. Then I could drive it around town in reverse and stuff. So, I could still take it up to the local pub and get a beer, you know what I mean? So that wasn't too bad. But anyway, I did get $500 out of that truck, which was cool because I bought it for $800 and drove for a few years. So I was pretty happy. One of the few Fords I've ever killed. But if you do not keep an eye on them transmission lines, so now I'm a little more paying attention to that. And I do have that issue on that new 94 that I bought. But anyhow, we're here to talk about the free yacht. So let's get right down to it. I brought you guys inside here yesterday or a few days ago when I made the last video about the yacht. And one of the things that I was talking about is how it was really dirty, but I'm kind of good at looking past that stuff. When I look at something like this, I'm looking more for damage than dirt. Dirt can almost always be dealt with. Now, a lot of people go, oh, it's moldy or there's this and that. Now, if you flipped as many houses as I have, you start to learn that there's many different types of mold, mildew, dirt, sludge, grudge, etc., etc. This boat does not smell moldy or mildewy or anything, even though it has, I don't know if you guys can see this, I cleaned a lot of the ceiling, so I'll just have to point it. I can't tell if you guys can see that or not, but how dirty that is, okay? Some people that may really scare them, like, oh, it's black mold, but it's not, folks. There's nothing growing on the ceiling. That is 35 years of neglect or whatever, right? So today I was out here with some of these. These are great. And I just started wiping it down and it really comes around. I don't know if you guys can see any of this, but this is just like really rough doing it by hand. Again, let me show you the spot I haven't done. Right? Can you guys see any of this? It's pretty nasty. See all this stuff up here? That's how the whole interior looked pretty much this morning when I walked in here. But been wiping her down, and as you can see, man, she's shining. She's a gleaming. Y'all can see that. She got to clean up, and, when you say like new with something that's from 1977, that's a pretty impressive statement. But so I won't say like new, but I mean, she's going to come right around. She's going to look beautiful, boys. That $5,000 price tag going to be going up and up and up as I keep working in this boat because people, one of my neighbors just asked me, hey, how come you got that boat for sale, but you're out there working on it and, fussing with it? Why you got it for sale already? And I said, well, it's just how I roll, man. That's logic. There's a for sale sign out there. Some guy drives by in a 1978 Corvette and it's running like the cat's ass, and he gets out and says, hey, I'll trade you this Corvette for that boat. Well, I'm going to get right out of the boat and go talk to that fella, right? Or if some guy comes by with a Ford F-350 diesel or an F-350 dually, I wouldn't rule out 100%. I know I told you guys I don't do diesels. I just don't. I only had one good diesel my whole life, and that was in my Silver Eagle tour bus. That was a Detroit diesel 8V71. That's a bad mamma jamma right there, and very happy with that motor. But I just don't like them in my personal vehicles. I don't like driving around looking for diesel. I'm not as familiar with them. I've been, under the hood of gas-powered motors my whole life. So I stick to gas-powered motors. But if some fella came by in a Ford F-350 dually, 8-foot bed king cab or something, and was like, hey, I might trade this truck for that boat. Well, then the boat's leaving, y'all. That's just the way it is. Or somebody right now comes up and they got $5,000 in cash. Well, the boat's leaving, folks. That's just the way it is. But I love working on stuff like this, and I really like this boat, man. It's really cool. So I'm going to keep cleaning it up and keep bringing her around. Like I said, as you see, man, she's looking pretty good. See, I got this stuff this morning, and, right up here in the corners, I mean, she's just cleaning right up, boys. Gonna look good. I'll at some point, maybe steam clean the carpets and all that when I get to that point, and figure out what I can do with the fiberglass ceiling up there above the bed. It's a little, the same thing, this same kind of dirt, but it's different kind of staining because it's that textured fiberglass ceiling there. So, but anyway, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of that. I'm just gonna try to give you a little demonstration here of how easy something like this that a lot of people would look at and go, I mean, because again, the whole inside was like that. So, down here, I've already been wiping this up. I haven't detailed it or anything, just a wipe down. So, but if you can see up here, any of this, can you see my hand here? I can't see very well, folks. So, but if you see, I just take this pre-soaked disinfectant wipe and start wiping this down, and it just basically comes right off, and you start to get a clean ceiling. And you just use the dirty one for a little while to wipe a significant area. Then you get a clean one and you detail it a little bit and get the remnants off there that were left behind. And once you've got it all wet, you could switch to like a paper towel to get a little texture to get at some of the more harder areas. And then if you look like up in here next to the light, you want to get all of those grooves and just go back and forth. And it really makes a huge difference. I'm not sure if y'all can see this, like down in there, right? So you take a little titty off the end of the wipe there, and you stick her down in there. You go back and forth a few times, and you've created that original clean edge that it was supposed to have in the first place. Of course, I didn't clean any of the lights or anything yet, right? All this stuff, you just start wiping. You can do it, fellas. You can do it. It's very rewarding work for me mainly because I like dirty, neglected stuff, because that's how you get the good deals. So it's rewarding work to me, even though it may seem pretty simple, like simple stuff to do. It's very rewarding work to me because typically if you work hard, it pays really well. Typically, if you're smart and you understand products and what they're worth and who's the buyers and all the stuff, a little bit of human psychology knowledge goes a long ways if you're choosing to make your own way through this world and make a dollar the hard way, if that's the way you want to look at it. But you got to know your way around products, what they're worth, what's available, who's your target to sell it to. Can you just trade it? Sometimes it's good just to trade stuff. An item like this is almost more tradable than sellable because, pretty tough to move this thing. You're looking for a certain buyer that's willing to put in the effort to drag this to their marina or their home or wherever they want to put it and, start fussing with it or having fun with it. Because by the time Lucky's done with it, this thing will be ready to just have fun And by the time if I get this whole interior cleaned and the exterior power washed, the boat will no longer be for sale for $5,000. That price will go up, but that's the way you got to roll, right? You put some more time in it, you got to get the money out of it. So, but things like this are great to trade, like, for whatever, man. You know what would be a good solid trade for this is, I don't know if y'all have, priced sizable sheds. I like them sheds with the pre-built wooden floors in them and stuff. The Amish built sheds and all that. And they're pretty expensive, they're going to start $8,000, $10,000, $12,000. And of course, I like the big ones that are $16,000, $18,000. Someone's got one of those on their property and they might have a hankering wishing they could have a cool old boat like this. That's the kind of stuff I would look to trade to this, because I could trade up, trade up. It's always wise to trade up. So, there's kind of lists of possibilities, right? Things that are easier to sell. A side-by-side would be a wise move for me to trade this if somebody said, hey, I've got a Honda Pioneer and it's only got 2,000 miles on it. I'll trade it for that boat. I would probably almost certainly do that, because I can sell that vehicle for $8,000 to $10,000 and it will sell relatively easily up here. That's something that's easy to sell up here. They sell pretty quick. So, you get it. That's how the game works. So right now we're just bringing her around, and I was doing it this morning and I was going, wow, she's really cleaning up nice. I better go get my camera here and make a video, because I promised I'd bring you all along on the journey with me as we bring these current projects around. And again, I thank each and every one of you for tuning in to listen to me, Lucky Haskins, as I flap my jaws and do my thing. Once again, little high quality rednecking going on, and it's going to pay some more bills, y'all. That's the way we roll around here. Ask yourself, who can I help today? And most importantly, be good at it.